Yeah.
I think this is episode 30 now.
Is it actually?
Yeah. Not
That's
including Boonch
ridiculous.
Boys or Boonch Brunch.
Mm.
Not including us. This is just the 30th episode. But yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's good. You got to just keep going. You know what I mean?
That is what we've heard.
Yeah, if you keep putting in the work, you'll make it one day.
Yeah.
Like the Chinese Kung Fu channel.
Exactly.
How are you?
I'm good. I'll be honest. I woke up like half an hour ago. But
no need to lie about that.
No.
Have I told you
didn't.
my gripe with people when they say like I'm gonna be honest or something like that, like,
yeah,
and it's stuff that that's not controversial.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I really like churros. It's like good.
Yeah,
Churros are nice.
Do you like churros?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't had enough. You know, where it's the more you do something or consume something, the more you're able to tell the differences and the good and the bad and all that. I haven't had enough churros to really define that scale of goodness. Like,
yeah,
I'm really I could tell you a good orange juice or not, but not churros. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, I mean I'll be honest. I also have not had a lot of churros.
Brave.
I'll go there. Yeah.
But I don't think I can. I don't think they probably have egg in them, so I'll just avoid them. Also, yeah, I don't know. Too much cinnamon sugar. I don't know. It's really nice when balanced on a bagel or something like that. You know what I mean? But if it's just like sugary cinnamon in a sugary pastry thing, it's just gonna make me feel lethargic. You know?
I mean, I do. Unfortunately, that does not stop me from eating those sorts of foods.
Neither does 3 kids going like this, sir. You can't have any.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna just plow them down.
Yeah.
Go for the churro.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm well. So I rescheduled yesterday because I said something was taking a while.
Indeed.
What do you think that was?
Oh, interesting.
Let's make a guess. Yes.
What a world of possibilities.
What a world of possibilities.
Was it a delayed 22nd birthday gift that took a while?
No.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The gift that took a while.
Yeah, it had been since Tuesday.
Orson Welles. No, it was not that.
All right. Well, was it a tutoring situation?
No, it wasn't.
Goodness.
This is a fun game. How about throughout the episode, unless you guess it, I won't tell you.
Is Greg okay?
Yeah, Greg's fine.
All right, that's good.
It was just a long run.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't like a long, like longer than I normally do in a day. Like I told you last time, I do like 2 runs a day. Yesterday, I did both of them back to back because I hadn't been like on my feet for that long consecutively before. So I took it pretty easy. I walked up all the hills.
Yeah.
Took it slow.
That. Yeah.
So yeah, that it was like about 3.5 to 4 hours. So
good for you.
Nothing impressive in terms of because that's like the worst marathon time possible. Like
okay, well that's just false.
Well, I mean, I only ran. It's so bad it wasn't even a marathon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's something that you got to start doing if you want to do longer distances. Like yeah. So yeah, it was fun. It was interesting.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, we talked last week about like, pacing and everything, and like, when, and I am trying to, or I have, this past week been trying to focus less on how fast I'm running,
Hmm.
um because like I think for me, like, my two goals in running are, I want to do something that is going to make me feel healthy,
Hmm.
physically and mentally, and also I want to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And uh, like, the enjoying myself definitely does not happen when I run faster,
Hmm.
and then peter out too quickly. So I say slow all day.
Yeah. And our digestive tract is actually much more efficient when you run slower, because
Really? That's
yeah,
interesting.
if you run slowly, um, the glucose, or the glycogen in your muscles. I'm just saying science words I've heard. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's real. Um,
the amino
but
acids.
yeah, yeah, amino acids, photosynthesis,
Right.
mitochondria. When you do that,
Yeah.
um, no, it's much more efficient when you're going slowly. It has more time to like extract all the ATP or whatever from
The
your muscles.
ATP.
Yeah.
Mhm.
um, it's much more efficient at extracting energy from your muscle glycogen than if you were running really fast. It's like 38 versus 2 when you're sprinting or something. So those are numbers, that they're
Yeah.
different. One's
38
bigger.
versus 2 what?
ATP per
Per
second.
hour? Okay, oh,
Yeah.
per
Yeah.
second, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's big, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta watch. There's a video by, I think it's the YouTube channel. It's okay to be smart or something like that. I think you might have seen them.
It also seems like an uncontroversial sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
title.
I'm gonna be
I'll be
honest.
honest,
You
being
can
smart
learn.
is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. So yeah, that makes
that's
sense.
good.
And yeah, it was fine. And I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
try doing more of those.
good for you.
And it's also doing 2 runs a day is like a nightmare. gotta
That's
gotta shower
yeah.
twice.
Oh, I
You need
was
2 sets of
yeah.
clothes.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, no, I mean, that's again just very impressive what you're doing. I have nothing but respect.
I don't have a real job, so it helps. I'll tell you this:
Easier.
it doesn't pay the bills. How are you?
I'm good. I I was gonna ask you. So I went for a run yesterday and it was great. But my legs were hurting a bunch, and
Mm.
I was like, oh, I'll ask David tomorrow. And I was like, this podcast is just turning into me asking David for advice
Yeah.
about running.
It's
So
okay. I think over the past 2 episodes, we've had no more than 10 viewers collectively. So
yeah, that's good.
they know what
That
they're getting
means
into. That's the thing. At
right.
this point, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, that's true. Um, so is that a thing? Like, do your legs hurt, especially when you run that long, or that far?
Yeah. I mean, you got to distinguish whether or not it's like bones. Like,
It's not bones, and that's no, no, no. I know what you mean, and it's not that, which is good because it definitely used to be that, and now
yeah,
I'm running
because
better.
that means that the technique is off in some way,
Right,
right?
right.
But if it's like muscle tightness,
Yeah.
that is normal. I mean,
Okay, that's good.
I've this is going to be controversial. I don't think I mentioned this last time. Um, like, this is a real. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
um, I don't stretch,
Hmm,
which is I'm not sure if I talked about this, but um, running muscles are much more efficient when they're tight because they retain more energy, like the argument like a tightly coiled spring,
sure.
right? um and so I've not done a ton of stretching throughout my running career, or not maybe as much as other people do, and that allows your muscles to tighten more. But if it tightens too fast and too aggressively, that's bad, right? And your other muscles don't accommodate. So like, where is the pain?
Most places.
Oh,
No.
everywhere.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah. No. I don't know. Like it's
Stand
definitely.
up. Will the real Henry Drumbus stand up?
You just bring in like a full what was that like those like anatomy like no, not anatomy, those like dolls, and it's like point out, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah. Like in court.
Yeah, like where did they touch you?
Oh man.
We've gone to a dark
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that market, like they're like begging for another.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't just do this, sucks.
Right. Somebody else needs to use this product.
Yes, please point out where it hurts.
Right. No, like I mean, that's the thing. Like, it definitely is like a muscle thing,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would say mostly like my quads and hamstrings,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes my like calves and whatever the front part of my calves is.
So two things. One, I would recommend stretching not before you run, because that's actually, I've read that that's not good. Like,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, static stretching from a cold, unexercised body can like cause tears and not be the best.
Good to know.
It's best to do either dynamic stretching before or some sort of static stretching after you run to
Okay.
like get rid of the lactic acid.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, if you want this, or have you ever seen this?
Oh my God. What is happening?
It's a walnut cruncher. No.
Oh my God.
So it like rolls. You can roll out your muscles here. Let me try and do a demonstration.
Oh
I will stand up. Okay. So let's say this is my thigh.
Yeah. Let's say hypothetically. Wow. Oh my God.
And so you can like roll out any tender areas.
Very nice.
So yeah, this was Leah's. She doesn't use it, and now I don't really use it either. So
that's cool though.
Potential birthday present.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's like a year from now.
Yeah.
I might want to get it sooner.
Yeah. I'm like, you stay in that exact level of pain for
Right.
9 months.
Right. No, but that's good to know. And I think that was my worry. It's just like, sorry, I like blanked there. I don't know where I was. Yeah, no, I just want to be, running well, so I'm not hurting myself in the process of trying to, stay healthy. But yeah.
Yeah, I would also recommend sitting down or like resting during your runs. Which
okay. Yeah.
Like instead of running, because you're trying to train your body to get rid of lactic acid as it produces it. And it's if you just continually run, it's continually building up lactic acid and not able to expel it.
Right.
But if you like rest for a little bit, your body has some time to recover, and then you'd be training your body to better get rid of that lactic acid, because then you're giving it time to rest a little bit, but then you got to get back up on the horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when you say rest for a little bit, I know you said like you just want me to like sit down on the sidewalk.
Yeah, kind of. Well, not on the side. Yeah, like if there's a railing, I don't know. Shenandoah, no, not Shenandoah, Sherwood Hall, Fort Hunt and Sherwood Hall. There's like a railing on the side of.
There is a railing on the side.
So, yeah. Usually when I'm waiting for cars to like pass or whatever, just like to give myself a little rest.
A little second.
There's some benches in different parks. So
nice.
Yeah, just let your boys breathe.
Give it
a good old relax.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, all right. Thank you.
All right, thanks guys for coming back to the running podcast.
Right, Boonch Boys Run.
This would be really funny. I think we should do this if we could. Organize a Boonch Boys like 5K or something. but then like
sponsor.
but then it's like actually for charity, so people have to
That'd be
take us
good.
seriously.
Yeah.
Boonch
Yeah.
Boys for.
I wonder that is something I have no idea. Like, how do you organize a 5K?
I don't know. You just have to reserve the spots and
Right.
like write out the map,
Like,
invite
get some
people.
sponsors.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably it'll just be like get people to pledge a certain amount for every mile that you run or every K that you run.
Yeah.
And then
Huh.
we
should
could,
just
we
do
could
it
be a
like
genuinely good change to the community. Wouldn't that suck?
We should just do it like we should make it like a really stupid map, and it's just like back and forth across my backyard.
Yeah, it's 1 meter wide, but you have to do it 5,000 times.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
That is good. We'll plan it.
yeah, we'll get there.
We literally have 80 years. That's something that I've been thinking about more and more, is like how rushed people tend to treat young parts of their lives. And it's like, I got so long. Like, I really don't need to rush.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good attitude.
Yeah.
I know people are always like, oh, your 20s, it's like the best time ever, and you need to like have all these experiences, and you're gonna regret it when you're older. And I'm like, here's the thing, I'm happy right now.
Here it is.
Yeah, let me tell you the thing. I'm happy right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can do. That's all I can care about right now.
But now you have to be happier.
No.
No.
I'm good. It's all fine. All great. I'm happy I'm on break is what I am.
So you're on break.
I'm on break. We get a week for Thanksgiving. It is no, it's nice. And so this was a thing. Hold on. let me take my sweatshirt off.
Classic. Oh man, I'm so in anticipation as to what's under the sweater, if it's something special.
No, it's just my shirt. I was just hot. This had nothing to do with what I was saying.
You're like, it's Thanksgiving break.
I was thinking it's been like a year now since we reviewed what my anthropology professor wrote that on that announcement about Thanksgiving break.
Oh, should we? I kind of do.
It was like, I don't. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. There's a clip of it on YouTube, I think, that you.
Oh yeah, Henry's crazy anthropology class.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like all cat like Thanksgiving break, and then she just quoted two people and didn't say who she was quoting. Anyway,
that's good.
No, yeah, no. So I'm happy that we're on break, and I was talking to some friends throughout the week, and I had like a test and a paper due and another paper due, and I was just like, things were a little busy, and so I was talking to people, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready for break, ready to have a break. Mm-hmm. And they agreed because they were also busy. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think there's like really a way to test this, but my theory is, actually, it's not a theory. My question is, would I say that if I didn't know that I had a break coming? If we didn't have a week off for Thanksgiving and it was just, constant working, would I say that I have a break, or do I just say I'm ready for break because I know that there's a break coming? And that I
chicken and the egg.
Yes.
Was the break created because the students needed one,
right?
Or was the break what created the want?
Yes, exactly.
I think I think it's no, yeah, that's man, that's a good question. Can you repeat it?
I mean, it's fine.
So yeah, that's Man, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, again, like that's the thing. I don't know if there's a way to test that unless it's like you surprise me with a break next year or something. Like I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But even in that situation, there's too many factors.
I think if there wasn't a break, you would want one, but you would manage.
Oh,
And
sure.
and
Yeah.
and so the want would still be there,
Right.
um, but you just sort of suppress it, right? Like I think that's just a common thing in our society now, where it's like wanting a break, but just working through it until the next one,
Yeah.
right? Um,
That's true. Unfortunately.
so yeah, I think you do genuinely want the break, um, and the break is the outlet for those feelings that you genuinely have because you're working a lot.
Yeah. Interesting.
But you
Because
would
I mean,
survive without it.
yeah, right. Certainly. Um, I was thinking back to like earlier in the semester when I was just like feeling good in a nice rhythm. I didn't have like too much going on, but I had enough
Yeah,
going on.
triplets. Yeah,
Yeah, the classic. And no, it was, feeling good. And at that point, I was like, no, I don't need a break. Like other people need a break because they're a lot busier than I am, but
Mhm,
I am lucky and I have like a pretty nice, little semester here.
mhm.
And the same is true, honestly. Like, yeah, the past few weeks have been busy, but busy relative to me and like my normal, easy semester schedule. So, like, there are people who are, working a job and are taking lots of other classes and have kids and stuff. And like they
Man,
need a break. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, no, that's a person. And like they need
You
a
know
break.
a person like that, or you're just guessing?
Oh, I'm guessing.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know people.
I've known
But
no one.
I think I know people who have each of those qualities separately. I can
Hmm.
say that. Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, that's true. I think it's also that I think we got to remember that people choose how busy they feel or want to feel
Mm,
based on all the things that they decide before they do something. Like I remember this one time. I hope this isn't doxing anyone, but I remember once in
wait,
like
wait, wait. What does that mean?
doxing means to give out information that isn't publicly available, and
Ah,
then
all right.
like you dox someone's house,
Oh,
like a famous person's house.
goodness.
Um, you did this. No. um, so in 10th or 11th grade science, I remember Jason Lockyer was talking to some crew person, and it was really funny because the crew person was like, "Oh, I hate it. We have like a 5 a.m. practice tomorrow." And Jason Lockyer was like, "Don't you want to do that? Didn't you do to decide that?"
Right.
And she was like, yeah. And and I thought that that was a, I don't know, a good point where it's like you can. I've noticed this with, and I've since then I've sort of been, um, not a like not a huge not a fan, but just like confused when people are like, man, I'm so busy, I hate this, and all the things that are making them busy are elective things.
Right.
um and it's it's one of these things that it's almost like a badge of honor and something that's
Mm,
inherently a part of everything, and you and it's not something to be ashamed of, but it's something to hate, which is weird because it's like, yeah, you can hate the fact that you're busy, but it's like admirable that you're busy, and you never take a second thought to be like, oh, is this going to be a level of busyness that I like in my life, or do I want something more chill?
yeah. I think that like admiration is a an issue. um that like I remember being in that mindset like first year of college, like
Hmm.
bragging about, how busy I am, bragging about how I had like so little, like I couldn't eat lunch on Mondays, Wednesdays, and
I
Fridays
think
because
you told me that. Yeah.
yeah, I was too busy. It's like that is the most ridiculous thing. And I definitely did hate being that busy. And I had chosen to be that busy.
Hmm.
And so that's the other thing. It's like, you know, put aside the examples of people who like need to work two jobs just because of their circumstances,
Yeah.
which in and of itself is a problem. Put aside like those examples where it's really not elective. Um, is are people's choices to be busy, to do crew, to something like that. Like actually, yeah, crew's a good example where it's like some of it hopefully is them choosing to do that,
Hmm.
but how much of it is college application expectations, how much of it is parental expectations, how much of it is just societal expectations that you do a lot of stuff
Hmm.
and that you are busy. um, and that's not to say that they couldn't choose something else to be busy with,
Hmm.
which doesn't involve 5 a.m. practices, because that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't know, that idea of self-worth coming from how busy you are, how much you're doing, just quantity wise,
Hmm.
is a problem.
Yeah. And a second like layer of it is that it's okay to be busy if you like the things that are making you busy, right?
Absolutely.
Like I try to fill up my days. I'm an unemployed graduated college. I mean, I'm not unemployed.
Yeah, you
I
got
employ
stuff.
myself.
Yeah, small
Yes.
businesses.
Small businesses are the backbone of the economy. No, they're not.
I don't know.
I was just quoting How I Met Your Mother. Do you remember that,
Yeah,
where Ted
yeah,
like
yeah, I
started
do.
his own thing? Um, but I do fill up my days with certain things, but I'm never going to complain that I'm busy, right?
Yeah,
Because it's like I'm busy doing the things I decided to do and that I like filling up my days with.
right.
Hating being busy seems to come from the fact that you hate what you're busy doing,
Mm,
which is, I don't think, something that is talked about.
mm. No, I think that's
NPR,
true.
sponsor me.
Yeah, get ready for the Boonch Boys 5K.
Yeah. What if
Um,
NPR sponsored just me?
they're just giving you money.
They're like,
What would that
NPR,
be?
we want to sponsor you, but not Henry or the show. Just me.
Just David. Uh, just David, sponsored by NPR.
Yeah.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that one of the ways I think there is definitely an opportunity to sort of reframe any situation, thereby changing how you feel about that situation.
Mm.
And I mean, or what I mean by that is like that there are definitely times when I am like upset that I have to write another paper. I'm like, not like depressed, but like just like, oh man, I don't want to do this.
Damn
Yeah,
it.
yeah, just punching a wall and crying.
Yeah,
Um,
you have a one of those, what is it called? Boxing, like the big
oh,
things.
those things that you punch and then they're
Yeah,
like, bang, yeah.
punching bag.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
you
Yeah,
just have a punching bag in your room. You're like, they want me to write
yeah,
another paper.
yeah. I'm in Brooklyn for some reason.
Yeah.
Um,
You have the boots and the gloves, and you're just wearing shorts.
yeah. um, uh,
There's an Italian guy in the corner yelling at you, saying
exactly.
to
Eating a
fix your phone.
pastrami sandwich.
Gold chain, super hairy.
Tracksuit. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. What was I saying? No, so sometimes I'm upset that like I have to write another paper.
Yeah.
And then when I choose to change the narrative, not the narrative, when I choose to change my perspective
Hmm.
and say, hey, I'm grateful that I have an opportunity to get an education in the first place. And so
Mhm.
that's the sort of thing that, like, it's not that it is um, inherently invalid to be upset about something that you chose to do, or one of the sort of byproducts of that thing that you chose to do. I don't think it's necessarily invalid, but it is unnecessary in some cases, because I do think you can always sort of change your perspective and focus more on the gratitude.
Yeah, and you're also in a situation where it's like you chose to take the classes, right? But I don't think you knew exactly what all of it entailed, right?
That's true.
Which is
Yeah.
technically different than what I do every day. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do 30 minutes of this. I know exactly what's going on. Whereas if you in the beginning of the semester choose a class, you don't necessarily know it means you're going to be writing 4 papers at one time on this whatever week.
Right.
So it's a little bit less in your control, even though it technically is. But I don't know. Yeah, the stakes are higher, and it's almost like a level below just choosing every day what you want to do. So it makes
Yeah.
sense that you have that perspective initially, because it technically is something you didn't choose directly to do that day. It's
Yeah.
something that is a part of what you chose to do 4 months ago.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, that's true. Um,
There was this tweet that I saw that was so bad. I was like, I've been using Reddit recently, which is kind of interesting.
hmm.
And there's this like one Reddit called White People Twitter or something.
Oh God.
And it was, oh my God, it was so bad. This one woman um tweeted out, I'm guessing she was getting an education of some kind, like high school or college. She was like, can we just go back to when women couldn't be educated at all? And then
Oh
somebody was like,
no.
take this down.
Oh God. Oh no.
Because people literally can't do that some
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, exactly. That's the other thing is like the majority of these things are sort of first world problems.
Mhm.
So yeah. Oh boy.
Isn't that
That's
the worst?
that's so
It's so
rough.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so surprised at human beings sometimes. Oh,
I feel like I'm not anymore. It's just like, yeah, that's
that's true.
also
Yeah.
part of us.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on brand. It's
Yeah, yeah.
tangential to other things. Technically, you've not seen that before, but it's like, okay.
Right. It's yeah,
Yeah.
you can see it coming.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
That should, yeah, just respond to every tragedy of the human psyche. Just be like, yeah,
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 it's on
okay.
brand.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
It's all on brand. Can I show you a
yeah.
TikTok before we keep talking?
Let's do it.
It's so funny, and I need to share my sound because it's so, yeah. I don't know why this showed up on our TikTok, but
Just doesn't give a fuck, so. And he's a great kid, you know? You can not give a fuck and still be a good person and a nice guy. People confuse being a good person with being a fucking sellout pussy. Bro, I feel like everyone's become so sensitive, you can't make jokes about each other. Everyone meme on each other and have a good time, and it's all good, it's all love. As long as there's good intention and you're actually being a dick, then that's one thing. But me and my friends mess around with each other all the time. It's all love, man. Dude, society is such a pussy.
let's listen to it one more time.
So. He's a great kid, you know? You can not give a fuck and still be a good person and a nice guy. People confuse being a good person with being a fucking sellout pussy. Bro, I feel like everyone's become so sensitive, you can't make jokes about each other. Everyone meme on each other and have a good time, and it's all good, it's all love. As long as there's good intention and you're actually being a dick, then that's one thing. But me and my friends mess around with each other all the time. It's all love, man. Dude, society is such a pussy.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so good.
First of all, he's just walking around a Walmart.
Right.
And he's just saying all these ridiculous words.
Yeah.
And then the song comes in and you can't hear him. And the words get really
It
small.
gets so small.
I don't know if that's the joke. Yeah. If that's
No, it's so
authentic,
great, though.
that's like, yeah, on brand.
Yeah, no, that's great. I also like that he misspelled quotes 2 times in the hashtags.
Oh, really? Did he?
QOUTES. Quotes.
Classic.
Yeah.
God, why can we just go back to women when women couldn't get education?
Oh man, that's good stuff. Speaking of that, we in my Foundations of American Political Thought class.
You didn't need to say which class. We would have gotten it, you know.
No.
We would have known exactly what it was.
Yeah. We're we're in the sort of women's suffrage period now.
It's a good period. It's a good. You know how some parents are like, "That's a good age."
Yeah, it's oh man, yeah.
Women's suffrage, man. That's a good time in the U.S.
It's a good time of year. Yeah, but we're reading some of that stuff. There was this we read this speech by Elizabeth Cady Stanton. It was the last speech she made like publicly. And it's called The Solitude of Self, and she gave it before the House Committee on the Judiciary, I think. And
wow,
she,
that's a yeah,
right,
it's not just like on her porch to
choice.
3 people.
Yeah, no, it was like everybody was listening. But also an odd choice to do it before the Judiciary Committee. Like, what are they doing? I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, what is that? I thought
Right,
that would be
yeah.
and it sounds official. I thought it would be
Right.
like, yeah.
But like, why? Yeah, why is she talking to them? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it was crazy. We read it, and it was like she started out basically saying like, listen, you've all heard all of the arguments. Like, I have nothing new to say to you about why women should have the right to vote and equal rights in general. And so she's like, so instead I want to talk about like, it was a very sort of Emersonian sort of idea of self-reliance and needing to have equal rights so that you have the capability, so that you are able to rely on yourself. And what she said basically, it was like, we're born alone and we die alone, so we need equal rights in order to like be able to live well. It was the craziest thing. Like, it was so sad. She was just talking so much about how we're all like basically at our core, we're just lonely and everything's bad, so we need to be able to rely only on ourselves and nobody else. And I was like, oh my god, this is so sad. And
maybe she was like, what would power grabbing white men relate to?
Right.
Well, they're alone, they hate themselves.
Yeah, how do we appeal to what is it, incels?
yeah It's like, well, listen guys, we're all gonna die alone. You're gonna die alone. I hate myself. It's just like, they're like, you know what, ding.
I get it. Yeah. she gets it. I mean, that was also part of the thing, is that like, to an audience like that, if she had made like an emotional appeal, it would have been like, oh, she's an emotional woman and she doesn't know what she's talking about, because you know how everybody was horrible back then.
Yeah, literally just 100 years ago.
yeah, and also kind of still today. But yeah, it's so she had to make it. It was like, number one, had to be very just logical and, you know, logos or whatever. And number two, she was like, yeah, I don't have anything new, but like, let's just think about this from like a human evolution standpoint. Like, when we're born alone, we have the equal rights as everybody else who is born alone, simply because there's no communication. There's nobody there to tell us that we don't have those rights. So it's just like, we need the rights that are there for us when we are alone, basically. It's interesting. But it was funny because it was our last class this past week that we did that one. And our professor was like, have a happy Thanksgiving, you're all gonna die alone. That was fun.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Here's I disagree with her intellectually.
Interesting.
If being born is something that you do alone, and is there anything that we actually do together? You literally come out of a person and then they nurture you,
right,
for years.
Right. No, I think it is not so much the actual process of birth that she's talking about. It's like, I just popped up, no one did.
Bam, Elizabeth K. Stanton.
No, but she was talking about like, if there was not the sort of parent child relationship that is expected in society. Like,
Mhm.
you have to, there is a point, especially when as you grow older and you are able to actually rely on yourself, there is a point where you are going to be alone, like if a parent dies or both parents die, like that sort of thing, that like there's no guarantee of always having other people to rely on, is her point. I also disagree with her.
Yeah.
Just to, I'll be honest, I disagree with her, because but I think that also comes from my own very privileged perspective of always having people around me who care about me and will support me. So,
And also the past 100 years of scientific discovery, because
preach.
yeah, like human beings were not solitary, lonesome creatures.
Right.
Each one had their weaknesses, and so you had to band together and be a very social group.
Social animals.
Social animals, that's
Come
us.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're literally called the Boonch Boys, not one Boonch boy.
Yeah, not
You
just
think one of us could survive in the wild?
Honestly, I don't think the two of us together could survive in the wild.
A lion like comes into an opening where they're with microphones. What did you do today?
How was your week? That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. You ever heard of this bitch Elizabeth Cady Stanton?
Yeah. Anyway, but it was an interesting thing to read, though, and very different from the normal sort of rhetoric that is like, we're all one big American community, and she's like, we all die alone. Give me rights. So,
yeah, it's like, please, 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 I'm about to die alone. Just give me one. Just give me any of the rights.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good.
I was imagining when we were riffing about people just being just like, what if that became like a common problem? Like, that's how babies were born. Nobody gave birth, but it's like you're just walking through the woods and it's like bam, and then you like trip over a baby. You're like, damn it, now I gotta give this to the proper authorities. You're just like trying to have a day, but then it's like, oh, this baby's defenseless and I need to give it to a person that'll take it.
Trying to have a day.
Yeah.
Trip over a baby.
You're like, oh man, that's just a new one.
Yeah.
No nutrients can it find on its own.
Right.
Yeah. And then people shamefully tell stories about the one time they know they saw a baby, but they pretend they didn't, like far away. They like hear whining. They're like, oh, that's probably an owl. And then they like reveal it to their spouse. They're like, I think it was a baby.
I did something bad today.
I heard crying and then eating. So that's my day. I just
kept walking.
I was trying to have my day, but
yeah. Who am I?
This bitch baby.
It's that would, obviously pose a lot of questions about, parentship or parenthood. Like, who is every baby going to be adopted at that point? Like, they have to first give them to the state, and then, or is it just like finders keepers sort of thing? It's like, I found that one, now it's mine.
If you think about it, there's a lot of babies born per second, right?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
So you would definitely not be able to live your life without seeing one pop up. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God. What if a baby just like popped up in Times Square and like tons of like people who wanted to be parents? Mine. Yeah, finders keepers, I think, would be an interesting system. Yeah, it's like the lottery or something.
Yeah, there would also need to be regulations about like where they would be popping up, because like
the ocean,
right, the ocean, the street, like that's not going to be good. Right, you need to have, maybe it's like one place. No, that would be bad. That would be crazy.
Maybe that's
so many babies.
Then that would explain like babies would be born with like 2 broken legs because they were like dropped right onto a rock feet first.
Right. Yeah, that'd be horrible.
Yeah. Come on, God. What would you, why would you do that? Ugh. All right, I'm gonna use the restroom really quick. Oh wait, we can pause.
Yeah.
So are you coming back home for Thanksgiving, or are you staying there?
I'm staying here.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Gonna have a little Friendsgiving with
that's
Natalie and
right.
Chance.
That's
right. Did I tell you about that?
You did tell us about that last time.
Okay.
What are you bringing?
I don't know. It's not like Thanksgiving. Like, it's gonna be very chill.
Yeah, might. That might be the agreed upon terms, but this might be a huge thing for them. So
maybe
that's the level of analytics that I don't like, where it's like, yeah, we agreed on this, but I mean, it's really a time to show your,
Oh, that brings up a very good point that I thought about. Actually, I didn't. I saw. Yeah. Actually, I've never thought
that
about
brings up a really good point I said earlier.
No. But this is like it was something I saw yesterday, I think on like Facebook or something. Oh yeah, it was like things that shouldn't be as normalized as they are. And one of them was like the games that we have to play socially, whether it's like, playing hard to get in relationships, or like, fashionably showing up fashionably late, all that sort of stuff, or like, couples that like promise they're not going to get each other gifts, and then like they both do because they want to do that. Like, oh, I hate that all so much. That's what
I agree. I mean, we would definitely agree on this.
Yeah,
we've said very similar things.
Right. We agree on most things, and this is definitely one.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the things where there's no contention.
Yeah. Just like do what you say you're gonna do.
Yeah, and it's a lot less work, and it's probably going to make people more happy, because then you don't have these false expectations about a game that no one agreed to play.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like it's like being like, am I playing chess and they're playing checkers, or are they playing checkers? Or am I playing checkers and they're playing chess, and the other person's just like, I don't know,
sitting there.
Yeah.
Not playing a game.
Yeah, the other person's non-existent because you're in a park.
You're born alone and you die alone.
Fun fact to the people who didn't know this: Katie in Katie Stanton, Cady.
Indeed.
Let's bring that back.
That's a like a flower, isn't it? Katie did.
What did she do? Create a new flower?
Gotcha. Exactly. Nice. They should make a Katie didn't, and it's just nothing.
Yeah. Katie did nothing. It's just the 19th Amendment.
Ouch.
Isn't the 19th Amendment the one where they got suffrage?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she did that.
Okay.
Yeah. What's one thing? Yeah. What are things that we don't agree upon?
Oh.
Is there anything we don't agree on?
I honestly don't know. I mean, nothing like comes to mind immediately. I remember us having a conversation, like, I don't know, junior year of high school, when we were walking to your house, where I had parked. I remember us disagreeing about whether or not society needed manners.
Oh, yeah, because I think in Mr. Holloway's class, we did one of those things where it's like both sides of the room, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a funny story. So the thing was, do societies need manners to run effectively?
Right.
And I was the only one that said no. I said, yeah, my argument was like, of course it'll run better if people are nicer to each other, but it doesn't need to run with manners. And then Alex convinced himself. He was trying to counter one of my arguments. He was like, something about driving a car. He was like, well, if you're driving a car and then you don't wear the seatbelt and you die, I'm like, yeah, it's obviously better if you didn't wear the seatbelt, but you can drive without a seatbelt and still live. And he was like, okay. And he got up and came over, and everybody else's arguments were probably much less sophisticated than your own, where it's like, manners, happy manners. And I was like, yeah. So do you remember your side of that argument?
I don't, and to be completely honest, I think I agree with you now. So, no, I mean, I think I don't remember what I said then. I think what I would say now in support of that argument would be that the content of the manners, the specific manners, don't really matter, but it's more about being able to have expectations of other people that they will also follow a certain code of conduct.
Yeah.
But I think you're absolutely right that would make society function better, and it does, but that it's not absolutely necessary. But I also don't really know what a mannerless society would look like. That's the thing. I also can't really imagine that very well.
Well, yeah, this is the one thing that I was like, when we were doing this in Mr. Holloway's class, I would like, let's define manners. What is a manner?
Yeah,
and they were like, oh, I was like, how are we going to talk about this
right.
if we don't know what manners are? What I think a manner is something that's basically just defined upon like antiquated traditional values of this is a way you do this thing, this is a way you do this thing, like manners of sitting and eating, like you don't eat with your elbow. It's not genuine human kindness, right? Like having manners and holding the door open for someone. I guess holding the door open for someone could be considered manners, but it's also just being a good person, you know? I would define manners as not just being a good person, but as like these things that society has said means you're a good, well-respected, civilized person. When in reality, you probably, like most of us, don't even follow those anymore.
Right. No, I think that's a good point, that like the manners can be a byproduct of being a good person, but they are not what makes you a good person. And also, I think the difference between manners and etiquette is important.
Oh, etiquette, that's right.
Yeah.
But doesn't etiquette also, that's like a normative statement, right?
I mean, to a degree. It is saying that you should do something, but it is not as sort of binding an obligation as like
one man
ethical normativity sort of thing.
Yeah.
So in summary, we still agree on
yeah. The one thing we might have disagreed on, we now agree.
My opinion.
Oh man.
Yes.
That was a fun class. I liked Mr. Holloway's class.
Yeah, he was nice, and I hopefully still is.
I remember one of Alex's stories. I think
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, one day he was just alone in the class first, and he was just. And then what? And Mr. Holloway was looking at him, and what did Alex say? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I think it was just like.
I don't think there was a lot of conversation. No, that's classic. That's just a classic story.
That is a classic story.
Go down in the history books.
Did I tell you about the? I don't think I've told this story in public yet, and
Whoa.
I don't. Yes.
Are you doxing yourself?
I'm doxing myself. I think this is an interesting story. So, Amelia was in that class.
Okay.
And yeah, the only other class that she was in with me was CompGov.
CompGov.
And
quick aside.
Yeah.
Laura Miller is a mom.
Good for her. I in my mind, I'm like, aren't you rushing this? but in reality, it's been 4 years since she was about to get engaged. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, that makes sense.
That's completely normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think she's still working at Westbow? I don't even know if she's doing that.
I have no idea. I think so for some reason. I have no evidence, but I have a feeling.
I think it.
Yeah. I feel pretty good about that.
Katie
Although
did.
probably not right now because she's
Oh yeah.
Hopefully on maternity leave.
Yeah, please, God.
Anyway, congrats to her.
Yeah, good job.
I bet she would come on the podcast. Anyway, if we asked her, I bet she would.
We know you're kind of distracted, but if you could squeeze it.
Right. While you're on this great little maternity break, while you have nothing else to do, why don't you?
While you're not contributing.
Yeah, while you're taking a break from educating the youth of America.
Oh God. Wrong pipe.
We've all been there.
Seriously.
You good?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
All right.
Don't worry about me. I'll make it.
About me.
There's a hospital close. During Quizlet one time in Mr. Holloway's class, I'm continuing the story.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So I had been spending time with Amelia. I was clearly like, I don't know. I was more like, there's no way, you know, but it's like, I'll try, you know, be friends with her and like, see if I could, whatever, start dating. And so I don't know if a rumor went around, or I don't even know who did this, but one day we were doing Quizlet and somebody put their name as David Loves Amelia. And I was like, that
sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it sucked for her. She's not the type to, I was like a class clown. I was like, oh, like, I was like, "Boo! Laura Miller's gonna have the gift of childbirth in 4 years." So like, what are you talking about? I'm like, just wait. Just wait for the podcast, you idiot. You're gonna look so dumb in 4 years. So yeah.
So I don't know who would like that though. That's like not fun.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't fun.
Right? Yeah.
But
kind of a dick move.
Yeah, it was. So I'm pretty sure that's correct. It was like David Loves Amelia or something like that. Or maybe it was Amelia Loves David or something like that. It was somebody, one of us loving the other one of us.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the other way around actually, because then at the end I was like talking about the name, like, wait, how did blah blah blah, how did that name, right? Amelia Loves David, but then I switched it to David Loves Amelia, and they were like, oh, Freudian slip. And I was like, I'll stab you in the neck. I was like, how about these manners? Yeah. Remember from the other time? So yeah, it was that's a story.
Was there fallout from that? Did it alter your relationship forever?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, because she drove me home that afternoon. I was like, I'm sorry about that. I have no idea what that was. And she was like, oh, it's okay, whatever.
Yeah. Did you have again, is this one of those things where you had to be like, no, I don't, or you had to like deny it so that I hate those situations where you have to like deny that so that another person is comfortable and that the friendship stays the same?
No, I think we just like moved on.
Yeah, you just laughed about it. It's not like, no, I actually hate you.
Yeah, it's like I really hate everything about you.
Right.
I put my name down as David, but I was gonna put down David hates a single part of Amelia.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the other thing. Like,
that's no fun. I know what you're talking about.
No, it's so stupid. There's an episode of New Girl when Nick accidentally tells Jess that he loves her too early, and then she gives him finger guns, and then she's like driving away to go to a party, and so then he goes to the party and he's like, I have to go tell my girlfriend that I don't love her so that she won't break up with me.
Yeah,
like that's just the dumbest thing.
Yeah, that does suck too. Where it's like, man, if you do feel that, but then I mean, that's why it's probably that's like a classic storyline, right?
Oh yeah,
where it's like you say I love you too early, or you don't know when to say it, blah blah blah, blah. Like that's in How I Met Your Mother multiple times, and I guess a New Girl once. So or more, yeah, at least more, one more, yeah.
Probably in other shows also. I would guess.
It's bad to deny your feelings, bro. They'll
Bro. Listen, bro.
Listen, bro. Elizabeth Cady Stanton died alone, bro. So is all of us. Because yeah, it's like you want to be honest. That's there was something so funny that I read in Born to Run. So Born to Run is the book about the Tarahumara, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a part of the book, man, I kind of want to find it, but I'll just summarize it. The Tarahumara are like really shy, humble, and they're really honest. Like they're and one of the quotes was, one researcher went so far as to say that the centuries of honesty from the Tarahumara make it chemically incapable for them to form lies.
Oh my God.
I was like, that's crazy. Wouldn't that be so crazy if you couldn't tell a lie at all because it would hurt you so bad?
Or just because you haven't evolved to even know how to do that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I cannot imagine that.
Do you think that would make our society better or not?
Yes.
Good.
Of course. Everything would be better with more honesty.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, not in the. I think there's a line to draw. That my ethics professor talks about how like her grandmother liked to make brisket all the time, but it was always like really dry. But she was like, she was about to die anyway, so we weren't gonna like tell her on what could be the last time she ever made the brisket that like,
hey, this is trash.
Yeah. So like, obviously,
I'm glad you're gonna die.
Right. There's limits to when honesty is virtuous and when you're just being mean. But yes, I think the majority of the time, more honesty is a good thing.
And another thing that the Tarahumara do, which is like super interesting, is that once a year they have this like harvest festival or something where they get ripped. They get like absolutely destroyed, and like men and other wives are just having sex. Like people are just like having sex everywhere. Men are just like fighting. And it's like it's kind of like the purge, where it's like once a year they get out all of these nasty feelings, where it's like they fight with the people they want to fight with, they get rid of their urges that they have with other people, and it's and then they just go back to normal the next day. They're just like super honest and nice, and that's also super interesting to me. Do you think that would work?
Yeah, as I was gonna say, like, do you think that you could do that? Like, I feel like number one, I feel like I don't want to fight with anybody in general. Like that just
dig deep. Maybe you do.
Well, also I would lose, I think. So like that's the thing. Like there's somebody, who probably I have a resentment toward, but like I would still get hurt if I like fought them, and I don't want to get hurt. Anyway. But I definitely don't feel like I could go back like the next day and be like totally. I mean, I'm not saying a lot.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, all right, I'll stick the landing.
Katie did.
I feel like, and I have never been in a fight, so I don't really know what the aftermath is like. And I guess you hear stories about like, when people would like in the 18th century, like duels, like people would do that where they'd like, it's just the most ridiculous situation in general. Like they would just like be there together and then shoot at the sky, and they're like, and the conflict is ended now. Like that's the craziest thing. And maybe it did work. But anyway, my point is like, I don't know how that could work for me. Like, I don't know if that would work, that I'd be able to just go back to normal the next day.
So here's something that I think I omitted. They're able to go back the next day and have it be more normal because there's some god or like devil that they say make you do all of these things and make you have these feelings. So it's like it wasn't you that was doing that, it was this devil spirit whatever that was passing through you, but that now that you've gotten it all out, you've cleansed yourself. So yeah, it's yeah, our enlightenment ideals of individualism and sticking by your guns is puts much more of a cog in that wrench.
Right, certainly.
Cog in that wrench. Cog in the what's the saying? Cog in the wrench?
The machine?
Cog in the machine?
I mean, that's something. I don't think
throwing a cog.
There's a monkey wrench.
No, throwing a wrench in your plan. Throwing a wrench. There we go.
That sounds right.
Well, it's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Good Lord.
We're the best. NPR sponsor us. I've been listening to the New York Times Daily on my run.
Have you?
But more truthfully, I haven't.
To be honest, I have.
Yeah. I've actually been listening to this great podcast called Philosophy Now.
I've heard of them.
Is it? Yeah.
That?
Yeah. With
him?
Stephen West. It's really good.
That's awesome.
I think you would like it.
I probably would.
It's like the least partisan philosophy you could probably, because he doesn't try to put a spin on it. He just tries to present whatever the current thinker's work is in the most generous of light. So
lovely.
Yeah, you're that type of person to like open-minded, rational discussion. So I thought.
No,
you don't.
No, I do. I hopefully. I hope I do. No, I think I have my flaws in that I sometimes like to be closed-minded. I think we all do sometimes. But no, yeah, the short answer is yes. Rational deliberation, open-mindedness, willingness to see other perspectives.